Alright guys, welcome back to Crypto Harmonics. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this newer coin that's been listed on Kucoin a couple days ago called Key. And we're going to see if it looks like it's getting pretty tight. And so I want to see if we're about to get a breakout to this range here, or is it going to potentially fall down further here? So we'll take a look at that. And then we're also going to do an update on the three previous coins we've been talking about: Appcoin, Onion, and Ethlend. And we're going to look at those on the charts and see where we're at with our profits and losses there. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's look at Key here on Kucoin, and I've got it down on the hourly chart right now. This is a recently listed coin just a few days ago. And actually on the 14th, I believe it had its ICO somewhere around there. And then it's already getting listed on multiple exchanges. It's got a great team behind it and everything. Not going to get into the actual coin itself. I want to look at the charts here because this is forming something that I always like to keep an eye on. And this is a pretty well-known thing in technical analysis, but just kind of getting, it's what I call it getting tight. And so it's wedging in here. You can take these trend lines and run them up together and see that it's starting to get really tight in there. And a lot of times what happens is when you have this this wedge here, it will break one way or the other. Now sometimes you do get false breakouts and stuff like that, but what I'm kind of betting on this one is it will get a little bit of a breakout to the upside. But it is a rather risky trade for me, so I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this one just because of people that maybe got in at the ICO price of 1.5 cents and it's now sitting at, you know, about 5.5 cents. They've already got 3x on their money, and so I know what happens a lot of times is people that participated in the ICO begin dumping once they hit these exchanges, and so you have this run down and you got to find a better bottom for it. But I'm not opposed. So this isn't a long-term play for me here, but this is just a short pop up. And I'm looking for, let me show you guys what I'm looking for on my targets here. So that being said, I would set a stop loss at around 330, maybe 340, somewhere in there. 330, 340 is good. And just in case it does break down and make a new low, you don't want to ride that ride all the way down. It's better to just get out, go back into Bitcoin and wait for another trade to set up. Now, if it breaks to the upside though, this is what I'm looking at. So I'm using a harmonic pattern let me show you guys. I'm using a harmonic pattern breaking out this way. I've got a couple things that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this crab pattern that would come up here at roughly 513 Satoshis. But I also have on the bigger side, if I take this off here, I also have another pattern that I'm watching, and this is the one I'm going off of more so. This one shows up on the 4 hour as well, and this would be a butterfly. And so I'm looking for right around there. I kind of would front run it a little bit. So I'm actually, my take profit order, my limit order is set at 530 Satoshis. So I'd like a pop. I know that's a pretty good move up there, but I think it could definitely do it if it gets some momentum breaking out of this wedge. Again, it has to break out of this wedge though. It may fall back down, touch this trend line. That wouldn't surprise me if it touches this trend line, you know, at around 400 to 390 Satoshis and then pops back up again. But definitely want to keep an eye on it. You could, if you even want to have a more conservative stop loss, like you don't want to ride this thing out all the way down to 330, I would just be watching this trend line that it's been bumping up against. And if it makes a significant, you know, downturn and maybe closes below that trend line, then you might want to think about getting out as well right there. Okay, and here's a brief update on the three coins I've talked about recently in videos: Appcoin, Onion and Ethlend. Just kind of show you where I'm at on these. If you guys remember in the video from maybe a week ago or so. I was buying in this gray box here. Everything had a massive downturn. I actually had another buy signal at this 12,300 Satoshi range, so I could add to my position there, but I'm not counting that because I didn't have time to post or make a video about that. So we're looking at this area. We've actually come back up into this area and then fallen down here. So I am still looking for 26,000 Satoshis. So this is a longer term play for me. I think they have too much potential and too many good things going on in the near term for me to sell at this time. So it may trickle down and it may come and test these lows and stuff, but I'm still going to hold even if it takes a month or two, which is, you know, like a decade in cryptocurrency, to come up into this 26,000, and then I'll reevaluate it and see if I want to reach for this bigger target that I have of 42,000 Satoshis. But I definitely think it's very possible to hit this first one at least. Okay, and here's Ethlend. If you guys remember, we bought it around 1,300 Satoshis. It went down when the market tanked and found support at this X point, which is always good, and then had a bounce right back up into the B point, which is wonderful. That's first target right there. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know to front run that B point a little bit, so that because it doesn't always go all the way to the B point. So it will come up close sometimes and then turn back down, and it did just that. And so nice little target there. Now I took a position off there, but I'm still holding some, so I'm waiting for a little bigger move. But what I definitely would do now is, if you guys are still in this and you didn't take all your profits at the B point, I would put in a stop loss right here at around 835 Satoshis. I think if it breaks below that, it's going to go much lower. And so you want to kind of go ahead and get out right there. Now, I think it's probably going to come back into this gray box here and maybe mess around in here a little bit, maybe even retest these lows before trying to make another run up. But it very well could just touch this and keep going up. So my bigger target on this is around this C point here at about 2,500 Satoshis. So I have an order in right here as well to sell. So kind of got it boxed in there. If it starts falling that way, you can get out, and then if it goes up to here, you can get out and take profits. Okay, and the last one here is Deep Onion, and if you guys remember, we were taking a Fibonacci retracement and buying off the 618 of this big move that it had up, this retracement. It's just had this steady downward channel. We talked about that channel coming down and us just buying it at around 77,000 Satoshis. And you can see from there, it popped up to around 10, but I'm not taking any profits on this. This is one I'm just accumulating. This is an even longer term play than Appcoin for me. Although it is kind of a funny name, Deep Onion, I think they actually have pretty good potential to have kind of their quote unquote verge moment. And so I'm looking for a much bigger move. You can see over here, still really small market cap in this space, especially in privacy coin space. So $54 million market cap. I'll take a bigger move up. Even if it's a few months from now, that's cool. So I'm just accumulating. This was a good spot for me. It does look like if it does kind of break this area, it could really fall all the way down to the 40 to 50,000 Satoshi range before making another big move. And I'll buy again there too, but I'm not guaranteed of that. So I think picking some up at this level is pretty smart. All right. That does it for me, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. All right.